People know Jimmy Fallon as a warm, kind soul on screen, someone who laughs easily and makes you feel welcome. He has been a star since he joined Saturday Night Live in 1998, and fans and celebrities have loved him ever since. Season 24 ran from September 26, 1998 to May 15, 2003, 1999. But recently, people closest to him have started to say something very different about who Jimmy really is when the cameras stop rolling. They describe him as someone hard to work with, someone who is quick to get angry, and sometimes so controlling that nobody tells Jimmy no. These reports sound very different from the happy, joyful host we see every night. Some are not surprised because people have long whispered that his nice guy persona might not be real. Fallon's laugh became especially talked about in certain interviews. When comedian Sarah Silverman was a guest, she played a word game on the show. In one bit, Silverman joked that she was thinking about her beaver, and Fallon found it so funny that he literally fell off his chair in laughter. That clip went viral. Even though it was a real joke, many fans online still commented on how exaggerated Fallon's laugh looked. One humor blog even joked it was such fake laughter that it was filled with cringe. In other words, people thought it looked awkward or staged. In another interview, actor Ryan Gosling was the guest. In their chat, Fallon kept a huge grin and kept laughing and slapping the desk at almost everything Gosling said. Viewers quickly noticed. On Reddit, one fan wrote, "Jimmy Fallon fake laughing is cheating," because Fallon was laughing so much at Gosling's comments. Another viewer complained that Fallon's laugh was so annoying. Clips of the Gosling interview were shared with titles like "fake laughing obnoxiously," and fans kept debating whether Fallon was actually amused or just performing. These moments inspired many posts and videos online. People have compiled Fallon's biggest laughs into montages and memes. For example, one user made a YouTube compilation called Jimmy Fallon Fake Laugh Moments. Blogs and social media joked about it too. As one critic wrote, "Fallon seems never less than thrilled with anything," his guests say, so much so that it looks forced. Another article pointed out that in interviews, Fallon's fake laugh, desk slaps, and awkward arm touches can come across as hollow and performative. In 2019, comedian Martin Short even quipped to Fallon that he's the only host who pretends to care as much as you do, but he does more than laugh at nothing. He interrupts guests so often that they cannot finish simple answers. Taylor Swift once tried to explain her memories of the VMAs, but Jimmy looked away, thinking of what to say next, then cut her off before she could finish. She sighed, "At least nobody ever listens to me," and moved on. Then David Spade told a story, and Jimmy interrupted in the middle. David jabbed back. A jab is a small, sharp poke or remark. And Jimmy walked off stage as if to say, "If I can't be in charge, I won't stay." This made David look like the bad guy, even though David was right. It feels like Jimmy fears silence, as if dead air on live TV will kill him. He jabs into conversations to stay in control and to keep the audience from getting bored. These repeated interruptions or tics have become internet jokes as people turn them into memes. In addition, he has strange body habits when he listens. It begins with the laugh. Jimmy Fallon's laugh is often the first thing people notice and sometimes talk about when they watch his show. It's loud, it's quick, and it happens a lot. Some viewers feel it comes out a little too fast, sometimes even before the guest finishes their sentence. It can feel like a big, sometimes overly enthusiastic reaction is always ready to go. This distinctive laugh is a key part of his hosting style, something you either love or find a bit much. But it's not just the sound he makes. Jimmy Fallon also has some strange body habits when he listens to his guests. He leans in really close, almost invading their personal space. He stares intently at his guests, like he's trying to hang on to their every word, perhaps a little too intensely for some viewers. Sometimes he might even reach out a hand, maybe resting it on the guest's arm or knee for a second, almost waiting for a chance to jump in and interrupt. Vulture suggests this looks like a clever trick to make sure the guest stays focused only on him. The idea is that by being so physically present and intense, he keeps the energy high and makes sure the show never loses its spark or gets boring, keeping all attention on the interaction happening right there on stage. Moving on to his words, Jimmy Fallon also tends to shower every single guest with praise. You'll hear him say things like, "You're my favorite," or "I love you," or declare, "This is my favorite movie," and about the guest's latest project, even if they've never been on the show before or the movie just came out. He does this so much that, as Vulture points out, it can start to feel like ego stroking. This means giving way too many compliments, sometimes seemingly just to keep someone happy and sweet and make sure they don't get upset with you or the interview. It almost seems too much to be completely genuine every single time, leading some to wonder if it's truly how he feels or just part of the act. These combined habits, the quick, loud laugh, the intense physical presence of leaning in and staring, and the constant stream of praise, have led some viewers and critics to find his style a bit unusual or even weird. They wonder if the reactions are completely natural or if it's a highly practiced performance designed to keep the energy levels sky high and the show constantly moving. It creates a unique, high-energy atmosphere on his show that some find wonderfully fun and engaging, while others find it a little overwhelming, staged, or even insincere because of the sheer volume of the reactions and compliments. On the other hand, Jimmy Fallon has many defenders who see these habits completely differently. They ask, and it's a fair question when you think about the job of a host, should he not laugh? Should he just sit quietly and be awkward? His supporters argue strongly that his main job as a late-night host is to make guests feel totally relaxed, comfortable, and confident when they're on stage. They believe he uses the abundant praise and that famous infectious laugh specifically to keep things light, fun, and comfortable for the guest. From this perspective, it's not weirdness or insincerity. It's simply his effective way of being a welcoming, encouraging, and supportive host, ensuring the conversation flows easily, the guests feel good about being there, and everyone watching has a good time. But beyond these habits, there may be deeper problems. People say he laughs and praises so much because he tries to please everyone. He is a people pleaser. When someone pleases people, they do what they think others want, even if it is not natural. Some wonder if this people-pleasing hides a darker side. The Rolling Stone article that first reported these stories hinted that he may have coped with stress through heavy drinking, pointing to a possible lifetime of alcoholism. But why would he drink so much? To understand, let us go back to his early years. As a teen in New York, Jimmy was obsessed with Saturday Night Live, which had been on for nearly 20 years by then. He would watch alone, in quiet, hating when anyone talked over the show. His parents taped the clean parts and let him drink beer while he watched. He once said he would sit with a six-pack of Pop's Blue Ribbon, a beer known since the 1840s for its cheap price and blue-collar image, but revived as a hipster favorite in the 2010s because it was cheap, simple, and ironic. He and his sister even acted out sketches, copying voices and jokes. He discovered he was good at impressions. He could mimic James Cagney, who had an intense, energetic style, or Dana Carvey, known for wild characters, surreal jokes, and sharp impressions. His imitation was so uncanny that his mother teased him, "Okay, Joey, you want dinner now?" From early on, he would copy humor instead of inventing his own, a sign of someone who thrives on existing formats, exactly what late-night TV needs. In high school, he studied comedy routines and acted in school plays. He said he loved the adrenaline rush when people laughed, the acceptance he felt when he pleased an audience. This need to make people laugh and to feel loved followed him into college at the College of St. Rose, but he skipped classes to watch SNL live. He made trips to Caroline's on Broadway, a famous New York comedy club founded in 1981 that launched stars like Jerry Seinfeld and Rosie O'Donnell. It was there he felt most at home on stage. In 1995, he left college to chase his dream in Los Angeles. He studied improv with the Groundlings, a top school for sketch and improv in LA, known for many SNL stars. His first SNL audition flopped, but he did not give up. He demanded a clause in a sitcom contract that let him leave if he made SNL, because he believed in his goal completely. On his second try, he performed a rapid celebrity walkathon of impressions. Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Bill Cosby, Adam Sandler, and Lorne Michaels, who almost never laughed at auditions, could not stop laughing. Tina Fey later said Jimmy was completely ready for SNL, one of only 2 people she thought that about. In September 1998, at age 24, he became a featured player on season 24 of SNL, which ran until May 1999. Overnight, he was known for spot-on impressions. Behind the scenes at SNL, however, Jimmy began drinking heavily. He and castmate Horatio Sands called themselves super-functioning alcoholics because they could party hard then perform live that night. They even got into bar fights more than once, the stress of SNL pushing them to blow off steam. This high-stress culture was a sign of things to come. After 3 seasons, he planned to leave, but Lorne Michaels offered him Weekend Update with Tina Fey, a prize many wanted. He stayed until 2004. During those years, Jimmy's own laughter at sketches, especially the famous More Cowbell sketch, became legendary but also annoying. He laughed so hard, he broke character, interrupting timing and sometimes stealing focus. Some found it hilarious, others thought it rude and unprofessional. Lorne Michaels and writers did not like it, and Jimmy defended himself. I'm not doing it on purpose, it just gets insane. In a fast-paced comedy room, losing control of laughter can harm the rhythm. After SNL, Jimmy tried movies. He signed with 20th Century Fox for Taxi, 2004, and Fever Pitch, 2005. Both got mixed reviews and decent box office, but not enough to make him a movie star. Offers dried up, and he spent a lost period drinking more and wondering what to do with his life. His savior was Lorne Michaels again, who in 2009 gave him Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, replacing Conan O'Brien. Early critics said he was too cute and not edgy enough, but his show quickly beat Craig Ferguson's in viewers and even outdid Conan. Fallon embraced social media on YouTube, sharing sketches and challenges that went viral and drew millions of views. One Direction tickets, lip sync battles, celebrity games, they all tapped a younger audience that did not watch TV live. In early 2014, he moved to The Tonight Show, following legends like Steve Allen, Jack Parr, Johnny Carson, who hosted for 30 years, Jay Leno, and Conan O'Brien. His debut drew 11.3 million viewers, a staggering number for modern TV. He averaged 3 to 4 million nightly, plus 30 million YouTube subscribers. Segments like Lip Sync Battle and Russian Roulette Eggs got hundreds of millions of views. He was the personification of a golden retriever, friendly, eager, full of energy, exactly what America loved. But with success came crushing pressure. Each night he had to be funny, up-to-date, creative, and mistake-free, either live or in front of an audience. He had to research current events, write scripts, produce games, innovate new ideas, and manage unexpected mishaps, all while leading a large staff. Hosts are only as good as their writers, producers, and crew. His team was his lifeline. Without them, there is no show. The turning point came with the Writers Guild strike in May 2023. Jimmy publicly supported his writers and warned the show would go dark if they walked out, saying he was actually the Writer Guild as well. But staff tweeted he missed meetings and left them unpaid, revealing a gap between his words and actions. When the strike ended on September 27th, 2023, with new streaming bonuses and AI protections for writers, staff felt betrayed that salaries did not rise enough. Soon, Rolling Stone published an exposé on September 7th, 2023, interviewing over 50 employees. None spoke on record in Jimmy's favor. They said the work environment shifted from late night's fun stage to a toxic place where mistakes meant being fired. 9 showrunners came and went, and everyone walked on eggshells around Jimmy. Adding to this tension, just before the strike ended, a detailed story was published. On September 7th, 2023, Rolling Stone magazine released a big article based on interviews with more than 50 current and former employees of The Tonight Show. Significantly, none of the people interviewed were willing to speak positively about their experiences working there under Jimmy Fallon. These employees described a workplace that had become toxic, a really unhealthy and stressful environment. They claimed that the fun stage persona Jimmy showed the audience wasn't always present behind the camera. Instead, mistakes could lead to being fired, and they said there was a lot of unpredictability. Reports mentioned that Jimmy could be prone to mood swings, with some staff calling it experiencing good Jimmy or bad Jimmy. This made working there very difficult. As a result of this alleged atmosphere, employees claimed they often felt scared or anxious at work. Some described feeling like they had to walk on eggshells, meaning they were extremely careful about everything they did or said to avoid upsetting Jimmy. Furthermore, the show had gone through 9 different showrunners, the person in charge of the daily production, over 10 years, which is a high number, and according to the Rolling Stone report, suggested that even people in charge found the environment challenging. In that article, staffers said Jimmy's mood was unpredictable. Some days were good Jimmy days, others bad Jimmy days, when he would snap, berate, and intimidate crew over small errors, sometimes in front of others. They feared him, avoided eye contact, and called dressing rooms crying rooms for staff who needed to hide tears. They said he avoided being told no and that his behavior left people anxious and depressed. A black showrunner questioning an employee's hair was framed as racist, and white employees spoke of hurtful remarks. People even thought he was hungover or drinking too much, linking back to his SNL days. The article also mentioned Fallon's blackface skit from 2000 when Jimmy Fallon was a cast member on the popular comedy show Saturday Night Live. He did a skit where he impersonated the famous comedian Chris Rock. For this sketch, Fallon wore dark makeup and exaggerated features to look like Chris Rock. This type of makeup is known as blackface. To understand why this is important, we need to know what blackface is. Blackface has a long and painful history in the United States. It started in the 19th century in minstrel shows where white performers would paint their faces black and act out exaggerated, often foolish and harmful stereotypes of black people. These performances were deeply racist and played a big role in spreading prejudiced ideas about black Americans during times of slavery and segregation. Because of this history, using blackface is widely considered offensive and hurtful, regardless of the performer's intention, because it connects directly to a painful past of mocking and demeaning black people. Fast forward 2 decades to 2020, and this old skit resurfaced. In May 2020, the clip of Jimmy Fallon in blackface started circulating widely on social media, especially Twitter. This happened during a time when there were important national conversations happening about race, justice, and accountability for past actions. People on Twitter shared the old clip, and a hashtag numbered Jimmy Fallon is over party began trending. This showed that many people were upset or disappointed to see Fallon, who is a well-known and often liked TV personality, having used blackface in the past. For many, it wasn't just a simple costume. It brought up the harmful history of the practice. As the clip spread and the reaction grew, Jimmy Fallon addressed the issue. He didn't stay silent. Fallon quickly went to his Twitter account and posted an apology. He said, "In 2000, while on SNL, I made the terrible decision to do an impersonation of Chris Rock while in blackface. There is no excuse for this. I am truly sorry for making this unquestionably offensive decision and thank all of you for holding me accountable. His apology acknowledged the wrongness of the act itself and expressed regret. He also spoke about learning from the experience and wanting to do better. Adding another layer to the story, Chris Rock also commented on the incident. Later on, Chris Rock spoke about the skit and Fallon's apology. He mentioned that while blackface itself is problematic, he believed Jimmy Fallon didn't do it out of malice or with the intention to personally hurt him or be racist towards black people. Rock said something to the effect of intention matters, suggesting that while the act was a poor choice with a harmful historical context, he didn't feel Fallon meant harm to him in that specific moment. This showed a different perspective, acknowledging the complexity of the situation and the difference between a hurtful act and a malicious intent. At least from Rock's personal view regarding Fallon, the incident and the responses sparked further discussion. The resurfacing of the skit, Fallon's apology, and Rock's comments all contributed to conversations online and in the media. And people debated whether Fallon's apology was enough, whether actions from long ago should still impact someone's career, and the difference between intention and the actual impact of an action, especially when it involves historically harmful practices like blackface. Meanwhile, viewers and industry insiders argued whether the article was a fair hit piece or if demanding perfection from a high-pressure boss was unrealistic. They pointed out that late night is notoriously stressful and that mistakes can cost careers. They also noted SNL's own toxic reports over the years, so maybe Fallon thought intense stress was just show business. Following the publication of this revealing article, Jimmy Fallon held a meeting with his staff via Zoom. As the original text mentions, he apologized, saying it was embarrassing and that he felt so bad. He apologized if he had embarrassed the staff, their families, or friends. This apology was a direct response to the claims made in the Rolling Stone report about his alleged behavior and the resulting workplace issues. However, this apology led to questions from many people outside the show. Was his apology truly heartfelt remorse for creating a difficult work environment? Or was it a strategic public relations move designed to prevent a bigger problem? This kind of situation reminded many people of another talk show host who faced similar accusations. This situation is similar to what happened with Ellen DeGeneres. As the text notes, her popular show ended in 2022 after investigations and accusations about a toxic workplace environment. People claimed there were issues like racism, intimidation, and unfair firings on her show. Ellen also issued an apology, and her network launched an internal investigation, which did lead to some changes, like 3 producers being fired. But, as the original text points out, even with the apology and investigation, Ellen's reputation and brand never fully recovered. The trust with the audience seemed to be broken. Because of what happened with Ellen, there are concerns about Jimmy Fallon's show, and reputation too, and his team reportedly fears similar negative consequences, or fallout. The worry is that even with an apology, the accusations made in the Rolling Stone article could significantly damage public perception of Jimmy and The Tonight Show, much like the issues affected Ellen DeGeneres in her program. The focus now is on whether the show's workplace culture will genuinely change. The story of Jimmy Fallon is a tale of 2 faces. The open-hearted host we see on TV, and the man behind the scenes who some say is quick to anger, controlling, and hiding pain under laughter. The pressures of late-night TV, a history of stress and substance use at SNL, and the demands of keeping a happy persona may have shaped a workplace culture that left staff feeling trapped. Now we are left with the question, how do we reconcile the golden fur coat of Jimmy Fallon with the dark feathers underneath? The man who made us laugh may also have made many suffer, and only time will tell if the real Jimmy can rebuild trust and show that his joy on stage can exist without fear behind the scenes.